Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at the 12 new lightweight cruiser motorcycles 2026. Number 12, Royal Enfield Meteor 350. The Royal Enfield Meteor 350 feels purpose-built for relaxed American riding in 2026. The exterior keeps a classic cruiser layout with a low seat, wide handlebars, and a stretch stance that feels comfortable the moment you sit on it. Paint quality and panel fit look improved this year, giving the bike a more consistent finish. With a weight of around 421 pounds, it stays easy to control at low speeds and in traffic. Engine performance comes from a 349cc air oil-cooled single-cylinder motor. It produces about 20 horsepower and roughly 20 pound-feet of torque. Those numbers translate into smooth city riding and steady highway cruising around 60 to 70 miles per hour without feeling stressed. Features focus on everyday usability. Dual-channel ABS is standard, braking comes from front and rear disc brakes, and suspension tuning favors comfort over sharp handling. It handles rough city roads well and stays composed on longer rides. Fuel economy remains strong at close to 70 miles per gallon, keeping running costs low. Pricing remains one of the biggest reasons to buy it. In the USA, the Royal Enfield Meteor 350 starts at around $5,200 before taxes and destination. Royal Enfield Meteor 350 is a smart 2026 cruiser choice for riders who want comfort, simplicity, and real value without excess weight or expense. Number 11, Honda Rebel 300. The Honda Rebel 300 keeps its design simple and rider-friendly for 2026. The exterior is slim, low, and compact, which makes the bike feel unintimidating the moment you sit on it. The low seat height of around 27 inches is a big plus for shorter riders, and the narrow tank helps with easy reach to the ground. With a weight of about 364 pounds, it is one of the easiest cruisers to handle in city traffic. Power comes from a 286cc liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine. It produces roughly 27 horsepower and about 20 pound-feet of torque. The 6-speed gearbox gives it better flexibility than many entry-level cruisers, especially at higher speeds. Features focus on ease of use and reliability. Fuel injection is standard, throttle response is smooth, and braking is handled by disc brakes with ABS for added safety. In the USA, the Honda Rebel 300 starts at roughly $4,800 before taxes and fees, with very low maintenance and strong resale value. Overall, the Honda Rebel 300 is a smart 2026 pick for riders who want a lightweight cruiser that feels easy, reliable, and confidence-building from day one. Number 10, CFMOTO 450 CLC. The CFMOTO 450 CLC looks more modern than most lightweight cruisers sold in the USA for 2026. The exterior mixes a low cruiser stance with sharper lines, wider tires, and a more muscular fuel tank shape. With a weight of around 427 pounds, it feels planted on the road while still being manageable at low speeds. Engine duty is handled by a 449cc liquid-cooled parallel twin. It produces about 40 horsepower and roughly 30 pound-feet of torque. Acceleration is stronger than most entry-level cruisers, and highway cruising at 70 to 75 mph feels relaxed. Features are one of its strongest areas. ABS is standard, braking comes from a strong front disc setup, and suspension tuning leans toward stability rather than softness. In the USA, the CFMOTO 450 CLC starts at around $5,700 before taxes and destination, undercutting many competitors with similar performance. The CFMOTO 450 CLC is a strong 2026 option for riders who want cruiser comfort with noticeably more power and modern features for the money. Number 9, Kawasaki Eliminator. The Kawasaki Eliminator returns for 2026 with a clean and modern cruiser look aimed at everyday riders in the USA. The exterior is slim and low, with a simple fuel tank design, flat seat, and compact rear section. It looks lighter than most cruisers, and that impression carries over on the road. Build quality is solid, with typical Kawasaki fit and finish. With a weight of around 451 pounds, it feels stable at speed while remaining manageable in city riding. Power comes from a 451cc liquid-cooled parallel twin engine. It produces about 45 horsepower and roughly 31 pound-feet of torque. Cruising at 70 to 75 mph feels easy, and passing power is strong for this class. The 6-speed gearbox helps keep the engine relaxed at higher speeds. Features focus on usability rather than excess. ABS comes standard, braking performance is predictable, and suspension tuning balances comfort with control. The riding position stays neutral, which works well for daily commuting and longer weekend rides. Fuel economy averages around 58 mpg, keeping running costs reasonable. In the USA, the Kawasaki Eliminator starts at around $6,600 before taxes and destination, backed by Kawasaki reliability and a strong dealer network. Overall, the Kawasaki Eliminator stands out in 2026 as a lightweight cruiser that blends strong performance, everyday comfort, and long-term dependability. Number 8. Suzuki Boulevard S40. The Suzuki Boulevard S40 keeps a classic cruiser look alive in the USA for 2026. The exterior stays simple and old school, with a teardrop fuel tank, spoked wheels, and a narrow profile that feels light visually and physically. With a weight of about 381 pounds, it remains one of the lightest cruisers still sold. Engine power comes from a 650cc air-cooled single-cylinder motor. It produces roughly 31 horsepower and about 33 pound-feet of torque. Those numbers give the S40 strong low-end pull and smooth response around town. Highway cruising at 65 to 70 miles per hour is comfortable, though it prefers a relaxed pace. Features are very straightforward. Front disc braking with ABS helps with safety, while the rear drum brake reflects its old-school roots. In the USA, the Suzuki Boulevard S40 starts at around $5,500 before taxes and destination, with low maintenance needs thanks to its simple design. Overall, the Suzuki Boulevard S40 is a 2026 cruiser for riders who want lightweight feel, strong low-speed torque, and classic styling without unnecessary complexity. Number 7. Kawasaki Vulcan S. The Kawasaki Vulcan S takes a different approach to cruiser styling in 2026, aiming more at function than tradition. The exterior looks modern and compact, with sharp lines, a slim tank, and a low seat that keeps the bike approachable. It does not feel bulky like many cruisers, and the riding position can be adjusted to better suit different rider sizes. With a weight of around 460 pounds, it feels solid on the highway without becoming tiring in daily use. Power comes from a 649cc liquid-cooled parallel twin engine. It delivers about 61 horsepower and roughly 46 pound-feet of torque. Those numbers put it well ahead of most cruisers in this class. Features lean toward real-world comfort. ABS is standard, braking performance is strong, and suspension tuning balances firmness with everyday comfort. Throttle response is smooth, and the engine remains calm at higher speeds. In the USA, the Kawasaki Vulcan S starts at around $7,300 before taxes and destination, backed by strong reliability and dealer support. Overall, the Kawasaki Vulcan S feels like a cruiser for riders who want real power and everyday usability, without stepping into heavy, oversized territory. Number 6. Keeway V302C. The Keeway V302C brings a heavier visual presence to the lightweight cruiser class for 2026. The exterior looks bold, with a low seat, wide tires, a stretched wheelbase, and dark finishes that give it a muscular stance. Build quality feels decent, and the bike has good road presence for its size. With a weight of around 495 pounds, it feels planted but clearly heavier than most entry-level cruisers. Engine power comes from a 298cc liquid-cooled V-twin. Output sits near 30 horsepower with about 19 pound-feet of torque. The V-twin layout gives it a smooth and steady feel at lower speeds, which suits city cruising well. Features lean more toward style than tech. ABS is standard, braking is handled by front and rear discs, and suspension is tuned for relaxed riding rather than sharp handling. In the USA, the Keeway V302C is priced at roughly $5,800 before taxes and destination. sitting in an interesting middle ground for value. Overall, the Keeway V302C suits 2026 riders who care more about cruiser look and road presence than outright speed or lightweight handling. Number 5. Royal Enfield Classic 350. The Royal Enfield Classic 350 keeps its timeless cruiser look for 2026 while appealing to American riders who value simplicity and style. The exterior carries the iconic round headlight, teardrop fuel tank, and retro fenders that give it a genuine vintage feel. Chrome accents and matte paint options add character without going overboard. With a weight of around 429 pounds, it manages to feel solid on the road while remaining easy to handle at city speeds. Power comes from a 349cc air oil-cooled single-cylinder engine. It produces about 20 horsepower and roughly 20 pound-feet of torque. For 2026, the engine gets refined fuel mapping and improved vibration damping, making longer rides smoother than earlier models. The 5-speed gearbox is tuned for relaxed, stress-free riding. Features focus on practicality and comfort. Dual-channel ABS comes standard, braking performance is reliable, and suspension is soft enough to absorb rough streets without being sloppy. The bike's simplicity also makes maintenance straightforward and predictable. In the USA, the Royal Enfield Classic 350 starts at around $5,250 before taxes and destination, offering an affordable entry into the cruiser world. Overall, the Royal Enfield Classic 350 is a 2026 cruiser that blends vintage style, manageable power, and low-cost ownership into a timeless package. Number 4. Benelli 502C. The Benelli 502C brings a modern, muscular look to the 2026 cruiser lineup in the USA. Its exterior blends classic low-slung proportions with sharper, aggressive lines, a sculpted fuel tank, and a minimal rear section. With a weight of around 475 pounds, it feels planted on the road but remains manageable at low speeds. Power comes from a 499cc liquid-cooled parallel twin engine. It produces about 47 horsepower and roughly 31 pound-feet of torque. The 6-speed gearbox keeps engine revs low during longer rides, which improves comfort and reduces vibration. Features focus on practicality with style. Dual-channel ABS comes standard, front and rear discs provide confident braking, and suspension is tuned for a balance between comfort and stability. In the USA, the Benelli 502C starts at around $6,100 before taxes and destination, offering a strong mix of style, performance, and technology. Overall, the Benelli 502C is a 2026 cruiser that delivers modern looks, responsive power, and practical features in one confident package. Number 3. Honda Rebel 500. The Honda Rebel 500 keeps its approachable cruiser style for 2026 while giving riders more capability for highway and weekend rides in the USA. The exterior is clean and low, with a sculpted fuel tank, narrow seat, and minimalist rear section that makes it easy to handle in traffic. With a weight of around 428 pounds, it balances stability and maneuverability well. Engine power comes from a 479cc liquid-cooled parallel twin. It produces roughly 47 horsepower and about 39 pound-feet of torque. These numbers provide smooth low-end pull, strong city acceleration, and relaxed cruising at 70 to 75 miles per hour. The 6-speed gearbox keeps revs low on longer rides, making it comfortable for highway stretches. Features focus on practicality and rider comfort. Dual-channel ABS is standard, braking feels predictable, and suspension is tuned for a mix of city streets and weekend roads. Throttle response is smooth, and fuel economy sits around 55 to 60 mpg, keeping running costs low. In the USA, the Honda Rebel 500 starts at roughly $6,200 before taxes and destination, with low maintenance requirements and strong reliability. Overall, the Honda Rebel 500 is a 2026 cruiser that balances approachable style, enough power for real-world riding, and hassle-free ownership. Number 2. Yamaha V Star 250. The Yamaha V Star 250 carries a classic cruiser style into 2026 with a low, laid-back profile ideal for USA riders. Its exterior is simple and timeless, featuring a teardrop fuel tank, round headlight, and minimalist fenders that give it a vintage look without feeling outdated. With a weight of around 365 pounds, it feels light and nimble in city traffic while staying stable on open roads. Power comes from a 250cc air-cooled V-twin engine. It delivers about 21 horsepower and roughly 16 pound-feet of torque, giving smooth low-end pull and relaxed cruising at 60 to 65 miles per hour. The 5-speed gearbox keeps engine revs manageable, and the V-twin layout adds a characterful feel that makes every ride enjoyable. Features remain simple and functional. Dual-channel ABS is standard, braking is reliable, and suspension is tuned for comfort over performance. Fuel economy sits near 70 miles per gallon, keeping running costs low and making it a practical choice for daily commuting or weekend rides. In the USA, the Yamaha V Star 250 starts at around $4,800 before taxes and destination, offering an accessible entry into cruiser riding with low ongoing costs. Overall, the Yamaha V Star 250 is a 2026 cruiser that blends lightweight, classic style, and smooth, manageable performance into a stress-free and enjoyable package. Number 1. Royal Enfield Hunter 350. The Royal Enfield Hunter 350 brings a fresh, modern take on the classic cruiser style for 2026 in the USA. Its exterior combines a compact low seat, sharp tank lines, and minimalist fenders for a clean, urban-friendly look. Matte and metallic paint options add character without being flashy, and LED lighting enhances visibility. With a weight of around 420 pounds, it feels light enough for city streets but stable enough for open road cruising. Engine power comes from a 349cc air oil-cooled single-cylinder motor. It produces about 20 horsepower and roughly 20 pound-feet of torque. For 2026, improved fuel mapping and better vibration damping make longer rides more comfortable, and the 5-speed gearbox keeps operation relaxed. Features are practical and rider-focused. Dual-channel ABS is standard. Front and rear disc brakes provide reliable stopping power, and suspension is tuned to absorb bumps without feeling harsh. Fuel economy is strong at around 70 miles per gallon, keeping ownership costs low. In the USA, the Royal Enfield Hunter 350 starts at roughly $5,150 before taxes and destination, with easy maintenance and predictable running costs. Overall, the Royal Enfield Hunter 350 is a 2026 cruiser that delivers modern styling, manageable power, and low-cost ownership in a lightweight, urban-ready package. And with this, we have reached the end of this video. Make sure to like it and subscribe the channel for future upcoming videos.